Do you not think that that's always been the case? That thin has always been in?
I think that it goes in fads. Like curvy will be in, and then thin will be in. You don't think so?
It's like a season.
I think it changes. Do you think it changes?
I guess
I
like
do.
So
I
when
guess
is
like
thick
I guess
season?
regardless
When is
of if
thick
it's
season?
Yeah, I have. They just don't listen.
I think
Yeah.
she. Well, Courtney says a lot of shit. Like Courtney pees herself and all. Like, I mean,
Yeah, but do you remember what Rodney did on that?
Okay, wait. This is not the topic. Welcome to another episode of Making Sense of Adulting. This is episode 11, and I promised you that we were gonna have guests. So I went down the street and found the two stragglers that were just ready to talk about what we talked about last week, Mental Health Awareness Month. And we're gonna do a spinoff, but kind of talk about the entertainment and social media aspect of it. But ladies, introduce yourselves.
My name is Natalie.
I'm Emily. We are both nurses with a pediatric background, but we just got hired to work at Vanderbilt, so here we are.
Let's tell them the story. You came to Nashville. We're fucking underestimated Nashville, then left.
Yes, our first travel assignment. We came here August through November, and our assignment was up and we left, and we wish we wouldn't have left.
Quickly
but,
regretted their decision and ended up struggling to come back.
yeah, and now we actually moved here for good.
so what other places did y'all get to go to on assignments?
We went to Arizona after here.
Ooh, was that fun or no?
Well, it was like in the Phoenix area, so the area location was good, weather was great, but the facility was crap.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did not enjoy it like we did at Vanderbilt. So
That nurse's salary had them living off 3 months of no job.
That travel nurse.
You see, some travel nurses, they go crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I had a travel nurse friend from back home. He had like one of those solar powered vans, and he would drive to his different locations and live in his van for free. So instead of like
So
paying,
he'd pocket all of his like stipends.
yeah, so he'd pocket everything. So he would like travel to DC, and then he would travel to Cali, and then he'd travel back east and go to Florida, Texas. And he did like 2 or 3 years doing that, just living in his van, just the van life. And I was kind of jealous. I thought that was kind of cool. And he
Driving
pocketed
everywhere?
all of his
He
earnings.
was driving all that?
Huh?
He was driving just coast to coast, like just like that?
Yeah, like it,
my
like
God.
you know, like one of those big passenger vans. Instead, it's modeled. It has like a bed and a little kitchenette, and it's powered by solar energy because there's solar panels
on top
of it.
Oh,
so it
that's
runs
smart.
off like the sun. That's
I could never live in a van.
I wonder how that would work at a festival. That sounds very smart.
We actually know
All
a
right,
lot of people
Bonnaroo
that buy RVs, so like sell their houses,
Yeah.
and then like just travel in their RVs, and they don't have to worry about housing.
Yo, that is crazy. I never thought about it like that. I'd be going crazy at a festival, just everywhere I go.
At a festival?
Yeah,
Why would
like-
you buy one for a festival?
Like if you went to go camp at festivals
so
outside.
you'd buy it just for a festival?
Well, no.
it's like a lot of money to
he'd
spend
go to
on just
multiple
going to-
festivals.
I'd go to multiple
He'd
festivals.
go to every festival.
He'd be Rodney the Rave Boy.
I'd be able to go to a lot of places and just be able to just chill on the side of the road. Just like that.
So, would you live out of your van?
From time to time.
You would never live out of a van.
No, I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't. There's not enough room.
Wouldn't fit his wardrobe.
Yeah, that's what
or
I'm saying.
your,
There's
just
or
let alone your
shoes.
hats.
No, hats or shoes.
Yeah. Wait, how many shoes do you
A
have?
lot.
Are we gonna slander me the whole episode?
No, I just don't. Where were they in the room?
Hidden. I have like 7 closets in the house. I take over everybody else's closets because I don't have enough room for all my stuff.
Because you're technically in the office, right?
I am in the office space. Yeah.
When are you moving out of there?
Ask Femi. He's listening. No, just kidding. Whenever he gets his visa and gets a job down here, then we are good to go and we are out of the 575.
And that'll probably improve your mental health.
Exactly. Let's go ahead and transition.
That was good.
So with the topic, I know Junie said he was talking about it yesterday with your friend, and then we actually were talking about it when was that, last week?
Last weekend.
We were talking about it last week. We were literally just drinking and just having this conversation about like depression and then the entertainment space and social media. And I was like this is a really good topic to actually talk about because they were diving in deep. Now, I don't know if it was the alcohol that had them like liquid courage, but the conversation was really good. And I just think in the entertainment space that everybody sees one thing when a lot of artists are going through, or not even just artists, but like people in the entertainment space are going through way deeper. Because believe it or not, like when I was doing research, the most suicide is thinking like depression, anxiety, and substance abuse are higher for people amongst the entertainment space than anybody else.
Than anybody else?
Anybody else.
I think that goes with the correlation of more people who are wealthy actually deal with depression more than people who are less wealthy.
Yeah.
And so I think people in the entertainment industry, typically, whether you're famous or if you're not, typically people that are trying to make it in the entertainment
Well, a
industry
lot of them are
better
not
off.
famous.
What do you mean?
I feel like a lot of entertainment people are like, they go through so many struggles to get to where they want to be.
Well,
And like, there's only like, honestly, it's almost like, not all of us work in entertainment. So like normal, not that we're all normal people, but you know what I mean? Outside of entertainment, the top 1%, the wealthy percentage of America or whatever, everybody below them is like, they had to struggle or work their way up there. And so what I'm trying to say is like, most of the entertainment industry is not the top 1%. Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense. But I don't think that just because they're not in the top 1% doesn't mean that they're still not like wealthier than your average person. If you get what I'm saying.
I guess when you're saying famous, you mean people like are in the limelight, because there's wealthy people who still go through depression and stuff like that because of like the status that they're in, but they're not so much in the limelight. Like CEOs, they're not so much in the limelight, but
Yeah.
they make a lot of money and they probably snorting coke on a fucking desk or some shit because they're fucking stressed. So I think just in general, like wealthier people just go through it harder because they have so much damn money.
Are in the limelight, you have more pressure, right? Like people are watching you, and it's just everything, like your business is also everybody else's business.
Exactly.
Now. So I think that's kind of like for entertainment industry too, probably the same.
And that's hard to think about. Like think about a secret getting out that's big at your age right now, right? But then now look at it from their point of view, like one small thing that they do that no matter how hard they try to hide it, it's gonna get found out.
Yeah, I also think of like when it comes to entertainment industry or whatever, like influencers are a huge thing now,
yeah.
and it's like they're just trying to make videos on the internet for fun, post and get money out of it somehow, but they're literally the most criticized people out of anybody. Like if you just like look at TikTok comments or read Instagram comments, people are relentless, and it's terrible, and it's like no wonder that people have all these depression, anxiety issues because they can't even post for fun anymore without being ridiculed for it.
And TikTok's so young. Like there's just, you can find the most famous young people on there. So I know for like people like our age, like those comments don't really bother sometimes. I mean, for certain people, because I mean, my comments, I'd never really give a fuck. I think it's always fun to look through my comments. But for somebody like an 18-year-old getting slashed for being rich and being young, like they're going to take it a whole lot differently than others.
That's interesting that you say that, because one of my friends, their sibling is like 15 now and had like a couple of videos go big on TikTok, and the comments, her brother ended up posting something a couple of months later and said, I've been gone because I'm so depressed from TikTok. Like he couldn't be on TikTok, and he was 15 years old. So like it is a brutal place for young people. And thinking back, like I was on social media at a very young age, but it wasn't the way it is today.
Yeah.
It was so different. It was used for a different purpose. It was used to keep up with your top 10 MySpace people, or
Your Bebo friends.
Yeah. So, and now it's like marketing, selling things, like selling a look, selling how you should be, how you should act, where you should go. And that is no bueno.
Yeah, no, it's almost as if like social media has become a form of comparing yourself to other people.
Constantly.
And if somebody else's image you think is better than yours, you're always striving to fit that image, whether it's the shoes somebody's wearing, their outfit, how fit they are. All these things are very manipulative to our younger generation. And I mean, you see it nowadays. And this is what I was mentioning to you earlier. I was talking to a friend of mine about it, and I was like, girls are getting like lip injections at the age of 13.
What? That
like,
can't be true.
No,
I really hope not.
They gotta get consent for that.
I'm telling you, it's 100% true. Like
Who told you that?
Huh?
Who told you that?
No, I saw it on
MySpace?
No, I actually saw it on a documentary about this exact topic, but that's fine. Thank you. Thanks for interrupting me, Courtney, since you know everything, right?
Well, my sister's 13.
Well, your sister also plays Fortnite, so I don't think she's looking to get lip injections.
No, she's not. She's not.
Different demographic of people. But regardless, it's just that social media is just affecting younger people differently than it was for us because, like you said, there's so many different things out there. People are updating their lives at such a faster rate with Instagram stories. It's not just like a simple Facebook post. Like, people are uploading images, uploading everything they're doing on a daily basis. And it's almost like...
And the products they use, which is why I feel like, especially for girls, like when I was in middle school and high school, I was treacherous, honestly. Like, if looking back, like... Oh, and I thought I was the shit, and I was not. Like, when I got braces, I wanted lime green. Like, what the...
Oh my! I actually had lime green braces at one point as well.
You know,
It's
like that.
Yes.
I thought that was the cool thing.
Were the colors super serious to you guys back in the day?
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Wow.
Like, I wanted, and now my sister's like, I don't want braces because they look bad or something. It's all about the Invisalign to make it look
Yes.
better.
Is she getting veneers? Veneers?
No.
What are they called?
But anyways, what I'm
Too
saying
expensive
is
for
like
me.
what I've realized, even just from being like, whenever I do go home, my sister looks different every time I go home because I don't go home that often. But her friends, they all look way older than I did at that age. And that's because they have access and they know what things like the Kardashians are using, even if the Kardashians don't use their products. Sorry if you think they do, but like just stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Walking lawsuits is what I like to call them because they look older than they really are.
That's disgusting.
You can't. Okay, look at this. If they're able with these fake IDs and shit, getting out to the damn bars, right? And they look of age and they're 18, and you don't know that.
Well, if they're 18,
That
it's
is.
not illegal.
I'm just telling you how crazy like shit is nowadays. How like girls are really looking. Like if they're able to get into these bars on Nashville, like what is it gonna make you think that these freaking idiot 27-year-olds are gonna think that this girl's 22? Like that's how crazy like shit. Now I don't even know what this has to do with depression and anxiety, but you guys are evolving quickly.
Don't be a creep, Rodney.
I'm just saying, you guys are quick. You can tell when a dude is
Rodney
young.
had a bad experience.
I'm like,
Barely.
Did you?
Whiskey Jam went south one week.
He's bullshitting. No, he's bullshitting.
No, I'm
Was
joking.
it my sister?
No, I'm joking. Nah, she was at home playing Fortnite, like I said.
No, I'm just saying, like it's crazy how like active this like stuff is with social media. Like it's really creating these crazy ass fucking visuals.
Well, and I think just for younger girls, even when we were younger and I was on social media, I was always looking at other people's things, like even in high school, and it's like, oh, I wouldn't have posted this photo because I look good in this photo and I want people to see this photo. And it's gotten even worse. And so they feel like they have to grow up quicker in order to make themselves look the part for social media. That's all it is.
And going along with that too, from a nursing perspective, like there's always been an issue with kids specifically coming in with suicidal ideation, but with like TikTok and Instagram becoming so popular, like these kids are getting younger and younger. Like we have seen 9-10-year-olds being admitted for suicidal ideation. Like it's batshit crazy. We're like, how do you even know what suicide is at that age?
I can tell you for a fact at 9 or 10 years old, I had no idea
Me
like
either.
suicide was a thing, or even like I like that even people contemplated doing that. It just didn't register with me at that age. And I think that, you know, nowadays with I think it's kind of become almost like a fad that a lot of people kind of take hard times and they take it to the extreme when they don't necessarily do it. And I think people lost the grip of, you know, battling through and working through their issues naturally rather than, you know, kind of just going and seeing somebody, which, you know, in certain cases, of course, that's always important. But I just think it's been emphasized through social media and always comparing through, oh, I can't be better than that person. I'm not good enough.
Although, like, at youth, I know, like, now, suicide seems to be, like, really, really high. But I know, like, back in the day, it wasn't so much, like, social media that was this. Because I, like, have a personal, like, experience with suicide. But it was always, like, me struggling to fit in with a community that wasn't what I wanted to be a part of. But it was just, like, the environment. Because I grew up in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up in the hood. But not a lot of people know that because of the way that I perceive myself now. And I struggle so much trying to be accepted in the Black community, being around gangs and being around, like, playing basketball in the streets, like in the hood and stuff like that, and stealing bikes and yada, yada, yada. And it wasn't me, but it was like I was forcing myself to be a part of something to fit in, that it was to the point where I was, like, cutting myself because I was so fucking, like, fucked up in the head. And it was like I was coming home and my parents were just like, you know, is anything going wrong? And I was hiding it. And I was out there being, like, a complete badass, trying to be, right? And then it wasn't until, like, later on that I started to shift and be like, look, this is not me, and then completely revamp. But, like, depression at youth, like, you don't really understand.
No.
I think that's the thing. Like, you really do have no fucking idea when you're so young what's wrong, what's actually really, really wrong with you.
And, like, going off of that, you experienced it because of the physical, right? Like, being around it, like, trying to fit in. That's what we probably all dealt with in our generation, is, like, actually being around people and wanting to fit in with the group you're around. That still probably goes on, but I feel like I can't imagine being a kid today because you're trying to fit in with the people around you and the people on the internet.
And the whole world, yeah.
The
exactly.
whole entire world. And it's honestly scary because then every single person is on these same fads. Like Junie said, like, suicide is coming more normal, which it always has been a problem. Like, I have known people growing up that took their own life, sadly, but it was for different reasons. Well, kind of same reasons, but, like, different channels of why it happened, you know? And I feel like now that there's more exposure to that stuff, there's no way the rate is going down. It's probably just going up.
Kind of based off what you said earlier, how social media has changed. I mean, when I first got on social media, I was in, like, 6th grade, and I made a Facebook, and your social media feed was your social circle, like people that you knew, people that you were acquaintances with. And now it's turned from that and has slowly progressed to where you're literally connecting with people all around the world.
Yep.
And which is just a huge, like, larger stream of people that you have to look at and compare yourself to, sadly. Now, I mean, I've personally never really been affected by this because I've never been a big social media person.
Junie doesn't know how to post a story. That's a stretch.
I really don't. And I always tease Rodney about this when we would go out all the time. Is like, I was like, oh, like, you know, I just like to live in the moment. Like, he posts everything on his story. Like, you can literally know how Rodney's day is going by swiping through his story. And that's why he's like, oh, you didn't know I was having a bad day? You didn't look at my Instagram story? Like,
no, I did know. I knew you were having a bad day because I saw the story.
Good. Thank you for watching.
But, you know, it was a different situation. So, go ahead, Junie.
What were you gonna say?
But no, I was actually going to ask our guest. So, what is something, like, in your all's field as nurses working with children and pediatrics and stuff like that? What's, like, some of the worst cases that you all have dealt with? And how did you all, like, fix or resolve those issues?
We kind of talked about how we can't, with HIPAA, we can't really give you, like, I wish I could, specific situations. But I can remember a couple, like, eating disorder in teenagers, and, like, some of the things that this patient did, I was just like, I would never have thought about doing that. Like, to burn calories right now. Like
Yeah.
just the things that they think about. And I know it's directly related to like social media and the whole comparison thing. And society's norm right now is like thin as in, you know, like that's every picture that you see right on social media is like basically.
But do you not think that that's always been the case? That thin has always been in?
I think that it goes in fads. Like curvy will be in, and then thin will be in. You don't think so?
It's like a season.
I think it changes. Do you think it changes?
I guess
I
like
do.
So
I
when
guess
is
like
thick
I guess
season?
regardless
When is
of if
thick
it's
season?
regardless of if it's ads on Instagram or whether it was magazines back in the day that you would look at, I feel like it's always kind of been the perception of being fit. Like even for men, like for me, like in my family, like my family does not have the most fit people in the world. And for me personally, like my weight has fluctuated my whole life. I'll go through a couple years where I'm in great shape, and then I'll have a couple years where I put on weight. And it's always gone back and forth for me. And it's always something that I've personally dealt with. So for me, like I've always seen it as like that's always been there. That's always been a thing, regardless of it's been like just fitness magazines or what you see on social media nowadays.
That's what I was gonna ask. Do guys struggle with this?
100%, and that's something that I've just kind of like gotten over with. But
Do you?
Struggle with it?
Yeah.
Like my weight?
No.
Wait, what?
Like comparing yourself and getting sad or seeing if it hits you mentally on
No.
social media?
I wouldn't say
Not sad.
I compare myself to other people, but like I compare myself to where like I've been before. You know what I mean? Like if that makes sense. Like if I go back and look at a picture of myself from my junior year of college when I was, you know, playing sports and really active and running a lot and doing all that stuff, like I'm like, oh, you know, damn, like I wish I could get back to that. Like
No, like you don't get on social media and see somebody post something and be like, that's cool, I want to do that, or why haven't I done that?
No.
Really?
Bull crap.
I mean, it could be different for different people, but
I mean, vacations, like that's literally the only thing that comes to mind when you say that.
I look at that stuff as more of like inspiration. Like I follow like a lot of clothing pages, so if I see people with like style, I'm like, whoa, that's nice. Let me go remimic that for cheap.
Yeah.
So I just use it as like inspiration.
I think the problem with it too, like I guess especially for girls, since you guys don't like relate as much, the problem is so much of it is fake. Like people are so fake as shit on TikTok, Instagram, like they're not actually doing the things that they claim that they're doing. And so all these people are getting so sad and depressed and like I'm 22 and I'm not like in Italy every month. Like, what am I doing wrong? When that's probably mommy and daddy's money and they were going to do that regardless. Like, I think it's just unrealistic expectations all around.
The thing about that I like to touch on is that so many people in interviews and like when people ask for advice, say like Nashville, for example, like you have all these artists, right? Everybody's perception is that artists are just making music and that's all they're doing, right? None of the artists ever want to talk about what their side gigs are, you know, or like what else they're doing to get to where they get to where they are. You know,
so
like some
much,
people will flex and be like, oh yeah, and like singer-songwriter, I'm a producer, I do this and that. Is that all you're doing? Because you're not famous. So how the fuck are you paying to live in Nashville? And those are the stories that I want to hear about, because I want to be inspired by how hard to keep working, not how you went from A to Z, and not tell you about the in-between of the alphabet. And I feel like Nashville's so common with that. It's just, oh yeah, I'm a singer-songwriter.
But you were also bartending.
But you also do fucking Grubhub or some shit, and you don't want to tell nobody what else you're doing.
Right.
I think that's pathetic. They're like, own it. Own it.
I'll tell you another thing something that you said that popped into my brain. When you said things aren't real and things are fake, I think like nowadays with filters and editing your photos making yourself appear the way that you want to appear, it's like people are literally crafting themselves to put out an image to other people that's not themselves.
Yes.
And it's like some people are really extreme about it and some people are not, but it's created this perception of like we are continuing to go down this path of we're not reaching perfection or we're not satisfied with ourselves. And I just think, I don't know, I just don't think it's helping anything.
And going on with that, like I've talked about TikTok so much, I'm on it all the time. But I tell you, 90% of the people that I scroll through on my For You page are using the beauty filter. Every time. Like, it's just like makes their skin look better, their eyes pop, like they're just much more attractive. And they'll like say that, be like, oh shit, forgot to turn off the beauty filter so you guys can see the real texture on my skin. So it's like you're just setting up people for failure when they
Like,
think,
what kind of videos?
just like they will literally just recording something like a Ulta or Sephora haul. But like
A haul?
Yeah, and they'll just have like the beauty filter on. Like,
While they're like doing makeup or something?
yeah, I mean,
Or just
all
talking
the,
even, just like
See, the girls are the worst.
just all the time. Like, they just use it constantly. Like you know, on Snapchat that obviously have certain filters that you take videos of. They just use the beauty filter to record everything
Yeah.
that they're using. So it's like insane.
But it's not even just for facials. It's
That's
literally
cheating.
for your body, your physique, like literally editing, the curve.
No, that's
like,
facts.
That's like
I almost called out
no,
my
but I
friend.
know, but I've seen
Why did you-
guys do it too. It's not just girls. It's
I've
literally
watched the
guys.
Rodney
editing
be pumping
process?
up his muscles.
No,
in
no,
it.
no, no, not me. But I almost like I've watched my friend who is a girl, who I think listens to this, literally make her ass look fatter, and I was like, how? She showed me like a before and after, and I was like, how? Like, some girls go into detail.
But sometimes you can tell when that's warped, though.
Bro, I don't know, because everybody falls for it on her fucking social media, and I'm like,
So my
Who
question
is it?
always is like, does that make you feel better? Like,
Bet you won't.
does that make you feel good? I don't understand when people and girls do
it.
that.
Well, it's.
That's not you. That's not real.
I don't think it's what makes them feel good. It's what's giving them popularity and clout. That's what it is. Like,
Honestly,
false.
if I got a lot of followers, I'd make
exactly.
my butt
That's.
bigger.
I mean,
But this is the whole topic of this conversation is the fact that people are setting a precedent for themselves that they can't live up to. And when they don't live up to this precedent, that's when depression and that's when these psychological issues come into play, because they set this expectation for themselves. And when people see them in real life and they aren't really like that, you're literally setting yourself up for failure and hurting
sometimes
yourself.
that's not the case, though. I agree. No, I agree. But what I'm saying is,
It's not for every case, but
no. I completely agree. But what I'm saying is, when people see somebody in real life, it's like, oh, I didn't know that you look like that, or oh, I didn't know you were that short. But they're still a fan. Like, I've seen that so often where people have such a massive freaking social media following, and then when they see you in person, it's still the same energy, but it's just like then they start pointing out your flaws. Right, so you can perceive yourself to be something phenomenal on social media, and you can have your your social media audience. I literally just talked about this today. So, like, somebody had asked me about something very similar to this, and saying like how much of social media balance do you have to have nowadays? And what I kind of explained was that social media to me is just a drop box. Like, I just drop shit content here and there, just to show people what I'm doing, but my real world accolades are what makes me me. So it's kind of similar to what you're saying, but switched around. So when you build like a real world presence, which most celebrities do, they're doing real shit, and then they go to social media and blow up even more, which doubles it. But for other people, it's like they get their start off of TikTok, and then they just stay stuck on TikTok. So they have no choice but to show the world what they see on social media and just live up to that shit.
But a lot of people blow up on social media.
Exactly.
So
That's where they're stuck.
yeah.
Because then as soon as you get to the real world, they still have everyday average jobs. But that's what the TikTokers are not telling you. If you're not a full-time TikToker, you have an average everyday job that you're not telling the world because of what they see on social media. And I hate that. Because it's not real. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's disrespectful and it takes away from the people who are grinding their ass off in the real world and doing everything they do it from the ground up, to people who are 18 years old making fucking dance videos on TikTok, and then they blow the fuck up and then they're fucking rich. Fuck that.
I sense a little bit of
I am jealous. Who the
Jealousy.
fuck is it? We were just talking about this, about like TikTokers just being like one and done. You get your TikTok following and you join like these famous TikTok houses and you're under the age of 20 and you're set for life. Who the fuck wouldn't be jealous of that shit? Fuck y'all. How did you do that?
see.
I'd like
look,
to know.
That is changed. That just had like it grabbed you. And that is exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, facts. I'm mad.
You know? Like that one thing is what kids and everybody on social media is starting to think, and then it can be really, really bad. You're strong enough to combat it and be like, whatever, I'm going to grind. But some people look at that and they're like, why can I not do that? and then swoop low and into depression
and
or
it's
anxiety.
made it harder for adults. Like imagine, okay, so like when you were younger, looking at people who are older was like, oh, it's inspiration. That's inspiring. I want to be like that. Now you have fucking adults looking down at children like, fucking how can I not be like how can I not be there or financially stable? Like imagine that 18-year-old TikToker who's famous, who can't even drive yet, who is barely legal, and her parents. Like are you giving, like, is the money going to the parents? Like, where's the parents' role in that? It's just like, are you stingy as an 18-year-old not to help your parents out, even though you did all the work and they just busted their ass to make you, and then you became rich? Yeah, imagine what the parents are thinking. Like, my little motherfucker is a billionaire.
My little
My little motherfucker's a billionaire. And then imagine the rude ass kids that don't share that shit with their parents. I saw a TikTok story like that. Didn't share none of it. Like the mom tried to steal the money from the child because the child would not give them anything. That's how fucking persuasive social media and TikTok and that little bit of money at a youth can do. And that I just know so many like older people now are just like, will reach out to, how do I become an influencer? Motherfucker, you're 42. What are you asking about being an influencer for? Like, they're just so inspired by what's going on now, what's working, that they want to go try to do it for themselves. Social media is literally an asshole. They're an asshole.
And I do feel like some influencers are doing a lot better of a job, like discussing the hard parts that they're going through, like explaining that's not all rainbows and butterflies. They're posting videos of them crying and talking about how social media can be so toxic. And a lot of them have had to take these breaks just to get away from these people who are like telling them to kill themselves in their comments, like, which I think gives a nice perspective, because then hopefully people who are striving to be like them will understand, okay, maybe it's really not all it's cracked up to be. And I should like consider this as an option when I'm trying to post my dancing videos or whatever.
So what about like going to the industry? You know, like, so say like we're pretty young, we're trying to break out into like our job fields. I guess, does that bring a lot of stress on you as like where you'll be 5 years from now? In a fast moving entertainment industry like this? Because technically you don't have to be in the entertainment industry to still feel the entertainment industry energy. You know, if that makes sense, right?
Oh, I feel it in my own house.
See, like, but you're in Nashville, right? So everybody around you is 8 times out of 10 pretty successful or making money, right? So it's just like, as a non-entertainment person, or for you guys, like, how does that affect you guys in the like around it so often?
I guess like for our job specifically, it's can be kind of stressful, but also mostly because like our options are kind of endless. Like it's kind of overwhelming to think like we could branch off and do a lot of different things with the nursing profession. And so kind of it just like gets to be a lot, because you're like, what do I actually want to do? Mm-hmm. Like you think you just pick nursing because you're like, yeah, I love it for whatever reason, and then you're like, well, what if I don't want to be at the bedside forever, but like I don't know what I actually enjoy part of this. So I guess I would think that gets kind of stressful, but I mean the job security in that is nice. So I guess I think it's just different. I guess. Yeah.
For me, being here makes me not want to work in corporate America.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because I see all these creatives around me, and I have a creative side, not really like...
You do.
You know, like not really like in music. I can't sing and I can't do any of that crap. But like I have other like passions within me that are more artistic, and I wish I could find a way to channel them, you know? And being around so many people that do just chase their dreams and follow their dreams here makes me want to do it too. And never, if I would have moved home to Dallas, never would I ever do anything like that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's how, being around it all the time here, that's how I feel, especially living with a musician and seeing how he is grinding his ass off. Yeah. And, you know, he works sometimes crazy hours, and like our schedules do not align, but he does have so much more flexibility than me. And so... not that that's something I do strive to have more flexibility in my day instead of working in, 8 to 5 every single day. But like, I feel within me that there's something more than just sitting behind a computer screen, and I want to try to figure it out and find a way to do that. And I think being here in this town makes that stir up more.
It's good that you realize that, though. A lot of people are just like, I have no plan. I'm just going to go through with whatever works. But, I mean, just having that understanding kind of helps you pave your way across, like, Nashville.
Yeah.
What about you?
What's the question?
Oh, shit. Don't make me re-ask it because I don't remember what it was.
It was a
Just-
summary question. It
Yeah,
was
I
a
know.
long
just
question.
like what being around an entertainment
like
industry,
the-
the entertainment like city, how it affects like you with being a nurse.
I don't really have a creative bone in my body, so I don't really have like that desire. I just think it's important to just be happy in the moment and enjoy what you're doing, no matter what it is. I think people sometimes are always wanting to compare themselves to others and always thinking the grass is always greener, and usually it's not. So
Yeah.
I enjoy being a nurse, and I don't really feel like I need to go outside of that. So
So what about you actually being in the entertainment space, like looking at, does it stress you out 5 years from now where you can possibly be at, or knowing that we're in a way harder industry that's to break into that's not like everybody else's?
I mean, I used to, but then, I started really working on things and like putting in more time, and I don't know. I've gradually seen the results. I will never forget when I first decided to go this route, and when I first started to like break through, just even in university, trying to get in on the radio station, TV station, stuff like that. I was like, dude, I don't know if I'm cut out for this. Like these guys are really good. Like they really know what they're doing. Like I have no idea what I'm doing. Starting fresh, and ever since then, like slowly working, like getting on the radio station there, getting on the TV station there, doing that, graduating, being the first person to get my degree, moving down here, like grinding with you, like doing those things that we did, starting this podcast, and then getting a full-time job in the industry, and then slowly seeing myself progress in that. It's like, it's kind of put all those worries at ease because I knew where I started and I knew how I felt. And I was like, dude, I don't know if I can climb this mountain from where I am. I mean, I switched majors to do broadcasting when I was literally about to go into my senior year, and I did it last minute and did a 5th year. And I was comparing myself to all these young, talented people who came into the university and to our prestigious program, knowing what they wanted to do, like already having training to do so. And I had to play catch up essentially. And so seeing from where I started and knowing how I felt in that moment to how much I've grown and how much I've worked into where I am now, it's like I don't really fear what the future holds, because I know that if I keep doing what I'm doing, opportunities are going to find themselves through one way or the other. So I don't know. I just try and stay positive about it, and I just try and keep working and control what I can control.
So before we wrap up, I got one more question for everybody.
Oh my gosh, we're already at the end?
We're at 38 minutes.
Wow. That went by fast.
Just be running when it's good. Talk. If there's one thing Nashville has taught you, what would it be?
well, that's kind of hard for us.
How long have y'all been
You
here?
were here, and then you left, and then you came back. So that's
Oh
important.
my gosh.
I don't really know like that. Can I just say like what I like about it the most?
No, because it taught you something if you came back. So what was it that intrigued you to come back? Because there's a lot
That's
of other
because
states.
she liked it.
No.
Well,
You could like anywhere that you went. You didn't decide to go find.
there's like
try
so many
anywhere
things
else.
to
It's not
do
flat like
here
Iowa.
is why I came back.
You said what?
There's like so many different things to do here. Obviously, I love country music, and like listening to country music at every bar is amazing. But I also think like outside of drinking, there's great shopping and like other places to eat and like good networking. We already had some friends here, and I think that was definitely a top decision a little bit, that we already knew some people here. So,
Emily?
Well, going off of that, like she said, I also neither have a creative bone in my body, and obviously in Des Moines, Iowa, there's not quite a music scene. So like getting here and like getting involved and like meeting people who that is like what they do, like the entertainment industry, has been like very interesting and like insightful. Me, we'll probably never be in it, but I love to hear about people's experiences and like what their day-to-day life is. Like you said, your boyfriend's a musician, like we know plenty of those, but it's just so weird to like think about, like we're just pediatric nurses from Iowa. Like we don't know nothing about music. So it's been fun to learn all about that and hear everybody's experiences with that.
What about you?
What has it taught me?
Yeah, what has Nashville taught you? You've been here long enough. You better have a goddamn answer.
Still learning. Taught me how to grow up fast.
Yeah, because you were a party animal when you first
It
got
says
here.
you.
Yeah, that's true.
I have seen you fully
I
transform.
know what you've seen. We don't need to talk about it.
What about you, Jenny?
Pass the past. Take every opportunity you get and run with it. Don't say no. And when you see an opportunity, seize it. That's what I've learned.
I think for mine, it's going to be, it's taught you that if you want it, go fucking get it. Go find a way to get it. And I think that comes from a lot of other people telling me, like, I came to Nashville to pursue this. The competition's heavy. And I'm going to see if I'll get there. Or I'll keep doing this and just seeing where life takes me. No. Nashville has so much opportunity everywhere. And I said the same thing about Anthony, you know, like it's a super talented fucking video guy, right? And he left because he had better positions in Chicago, and then nothing was popping for him here. And I was like, how bad did you really want it in Nashville?
Right.
But he knew that he wanted to go back to Chicago, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, but that's how simple it is for a lot of people. It's if you really want it here, it takes time, but it's here. You know what I'm saying? And that comes from personal experience. I did the cheesecake for 2.5 years, right? Which is just, but I had other side projects going that led me to finally get my shot. And I think that's all of Nashville. These musicians don't just come here and just fucking make it. They got to put themselves out there. They got to work on their social medias. They got to do all that shit to make it.
It's a 10-year
right?
town.
It could be a 10-year town for some people, but it could be a 5-year, it could be a 3-year, depending on how hard you fucking work. So I think if anything Nashville has taught me is that if you want to fucking go get it, and that Nashville's not going to hand you a goddamn thing. Anything, right?
They will chew you up and spit you out.
Exactly, because there's always going to be people around you that are like doing 8 times better than you are. So if you come here at level 5, around a lot of level 10s, you're going to look like small fish in a big pond, right? So you just got to fucking go get it. But anyways, I think that was a great episode.
Can I say one more thing about mental health?
Okay, let's go ahead.
I was just going to say that I think mental health is super important, and I think if you're struggling and if you're having any type of difficulty or inner crisis, I think it's important to reach the help that you need and to talk to somebody, and that I hope eventually that the mental health stigma like goes completely away. And I just think more people need to talk about it, more people need to get help before it actually happens. So I just think it's important to mention you're not alone.
That is a great way to close us out. Thank you guys for tuning in to episode 11 of Making Sense of Adulting. We may have a surprise other guest next week, maybe. I'll let you know. And when you hear it, if it comes out. It is your boy Radio Rod, Rodney Smith. Thank you for tuning in. Wait, what is my thing?
Signing out.
Signing out.
Howdy.
Later.
Bye.
Hey.
Peace.